Hello, guys. Welcome to Speaking English podcast. I'm your host, Bella, and I'm here to help you to improve your English listening and gain new perspective of the world. Every episode, I share with you motivating stories and fascinating facts about our planet, different countries, and cultures. We talk about human brain, emotions, happiness, love, and friendship. This is not just a language podcast. It is a podcast about life, beautiful itself. Welcome back, friends. Episode number 6 is ready for you. Bring the color. That's the topic for today. Before we start, just want to say thank you for all your comments and your emails. I'm very pleased to know that my podcast actually helps and you enjoy the content. We are living in the world of information. Information is everywhere. Actually, everything we see, hear, or feel becomes an information. To the people who like physics, congratulations, you're lucky. For many people, including me, physics is something very interesting and promising, but at the same time, it's complex. Other words, hard to understand right away. It's not to say that it turns me away from physics, though. I truly believe that since almost everything around us has something to do with physics, it would be quite beneficial and worth to learn a bit more about it. Let's go back to the information around us. How does the brain collect it? What are those doors through which random things we see, hear, or feel enter into our mind? And there, human brain receives all of it and starts processing it. These are the main doors or sense organs. It's our eyes, our ears, nose, skin, and tongue. So if you think about it, every second of our life is full of information. Sounds, smells, colors. Imagine for a second yourself coming out of a subway station, for example. So all of a sudden, you see hundreds of people, cars, stores, buildings. Now add sounds to that. Now people are talking, cars are honking. Then you start feeling smell. People smell, cars smell, even some stores, they have smell. And finally, colors. Many, many different colors. Skin colors, clothes colors, cars colors, buildings sometimes colored too. You see what I'm saying? 1 minute, but tons of information. How is it even possible that our brain perceives and processes all of it in just a second? It literally takes a second to understand that this fresh-baked croissant smells amazing. And it doesn't take longer than a minute sometimes to understand that this girl is pretty, but her dress is not just the best color. Or how do you like this? Without even looking at the subject, but just touching it, people can identify what it is. Isn't it mind-blowing? Incredible, amazing, striking, awesome brain we have. So today, guys, I thought, why don't we dive into the world of colors? There is a bit of science behind it. Not too much physics, but just good enough to have a clear understanding of how do we see colors. Keep in mind that we talk science here. So be ready for some scientific words. But no worries, you'll get it. So what is color? I know we don't have a physics lessons today, but I think we need to have a basic knowledge. Did you know that objects do not possess color? Okay, this may sound very simple to you, but I used to think so when I was a child. So this was a big news for me. Objects do not possess color. Objects appear different colors because they absorb some color or wavelength and reflect it or transmit other colors. So the color we see are the wavelength that are reflected or transmitted. For example, a red dress looks red because the dye molecules in the fabric have absorbed the wavelength of light from the violet-blue end of the spectrum. Red light is the only light that is reflected from the dress. White objects appear white because they reflect all colors. And black objects absorb all colors, so no light is reflected. When light hits an object, let's say banana, the object absorbs some of the light and reflects the rest of it. Which wavelength are reflected or absorbed depends on the properties of the object. For a banana, wavelengths are about 570 nanometers. These are the wavelength of yellow light. When you look at a banana, the wavelength of reflected light determine what color you see. Of course, this is a very simplified explanation. But again, as I always say, go and do your research. You will enjoy it. You will find so much more, and you will be fascinating how complex human eye is and how it's never can be even compared to any camera that have been out there. So color, as part of the electromagnetic spectrum, is in its purest form energy, a wavelength which has its own magnetic frequency. Colors can affect neurological pathways in the brain and then create a biochemical response. This is very cool, and there was a Dr. Robert Gerard that recognizes this, and he started a research which suggests that every color has a specific wavelength, and each of this affect our body and brain in a different way. Using the right color can seriously affect feelings, attention, and behavior, especially when learning. Even some research with Alzheimer's patients has shown that color cues improve memory and that learners recall images in color more easily than images in black and white. That is amazing, right? So because we are all learners here, we want to know which colors affect learning. So we are going to talk about green, blue, and orange. Green color concentration. Green is a restful color, and it's often associated with tranquility. We do feel relaxed when we see green gardens or forests. It's because low wavelength colors promote restfulness, and calm, and they improve efficiency and focus. So that's why green is an excellent color for improving concentration. Apart from being one of the easiest colors for our eyes, it reminds us of nature. Green is a good color for keeping long-term concentration and clarity, and it is a good choice for an office. Interestingly enough, there is some real scientific evidence for this. Some studies have shown that people who work in green offices have higher rates of job satisfaction, and consumers have been shown to spend more time shopping in stores that are painted green. Some scientists believe that just a moment of looking at a green space could provide a moment of refreshment for workers who were struggling to concentrate. Orange is a mood lifter. Think about the orange sun setting over the horizon. Nice, right? It's true. Orange can be a welcoming and mood-lifting color for learners, which in turn promotes comfort and improves neural functioning. Some people argue that an environment rich in the orange color increases the oxygen supply to the brain, and it stimulates mental activity while at the same time is loosening people's inhibitions. An increased oxygen supply also leads to feeling invigorated and getting ready to get things done. Some have even suggested that test centers should be painted orange to stimulate exam takers. So we can say that when you need to highlight certain facts and important information, orange can be a better choice than traditional red. But because of its energy and brightness, orange can be an overwhelming choice. Orange is, in other words, best in small doses. In e-learning courses, it can be used to highlight key facts. Because orange is a vibrant color that demands attention, giving it an edge as a choice for highlighting. But again, use it with caution. Blue color productivity. Some research suggests that people with highly intellectual work, which requires a high cognitive load, for example, programmers or academics, they are more productive in a blue environment. Blue paper, blue ink, or blue highlighting can be used to help improve reading comprehension too. Back to experts, many color psychologists recommend using blue colors, but adding a bit of extra kick with orange, especially for highlighting information, like we mentioned earlier. So, in summary, blue is great for promoting high levels of thought, but too much can create a sense of detachment and coldness. Of course, there are many more colors: red, yellow, black, and white. So I do encourage you guys to do your research. I'm sure you will find interesting facts of how each of these colors affect you. I think we all agree that the emotional impact of color is real. Remember that color is fundamental to the human experience. It's huge, and it's a big part of our lives and our perceptions. And we should use that in our e-learning courses. As you walk down in the store, for example, we don't really notice that, but you are surrounded by millions of packages. and they are designed to catch your eye. Whether you realize it or not, advertisers carefully select colors and color combinations to appeal to your specific desires, your gender, and your age group. Home decorators, clothing designers, and artists also know that colors can evoke or produce emotional response. People may interpret colors in different ways because of local culture and customs. For example, and I find this very interesting, some people in Asia associate a red color with good fortune and celebration, so it's a happy color. But if you go to Africa, red is the color of mourning. In other words, it's a sign of sorrow and death. In a summary, color helps us to gather and process information. Color affects our emotions. Color can help us remember important concepts. So, aren't you happy that we have colors? And it brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear your feedback, guys. I'm sure you too have a story to share. Please feel free to email me to learnwithbella@gmail.com. Thanks for being here with me today. It has been a pleasure. I'm your host, Bella. Take a good care, speak English, and make sure to come back. Bye.